Okay, so I'm here with 80s Videocast, and I decided to do a record for the music, which was just barely the 80s, but it's Nine Inch Nails' Pretty Hate Machine, their debut record. His debut record, I should say. His, of course, is referring to Trent Reznor, who is the essentially one-man band. He is Nine Inch Nails. He was born in 1965 in Mercer, Pennsylvania, and was basically a musical prodigy. He started at an early age. Dropped out of college to pursue that career, and doing so moved to Cleveland and took a job at Right Track Studio, which was the foundation for what would later become Pretty Hate Machine. The reason I say that is because when he was working at Right Track, he worked as a janitor, and during his free time, he would go into the studio and play with the equipment, and by doing so, the first Nine Inch Nails demos were created. And of course, this was before we had Pro Tools and such, so all this electronic music was actually sequenced on old Macintosh. Um, he sent those demos around and eventually got signed with TVT Records and became a big deal right away. And he went around the world and recorded different studios and collaborated with a variety of different producers and produced, a landmark album. So Pretty Hate Machine was finally released on October 20th of 1989, and right away it became a huge hit. Not necessarily mainstream, but as an underground. Nowadays, the album is actually considered one of the most important rock albums of the 80s because it completely changed kind of what could be expected of a mainstream kind of recording because of its industrial rock influence. And it was kind of credited as bringing industrial rock into the public eye. Had some huge singles, like Had Like a Hole down in it. And now it's triple platinum, so I should say. So let's go into why this record is relevant to technology, and that's because industrial rock is a genre which incorporates musique concrete or whatever into more mainstream like rock and metal, and as a side effect, it's had a huge it's an application of a lot of things we've already talked about. So he didn't so much innovate as perfect. And here's some badass band photos. Here's Throbbing Gristle, who are credited as the founders of the industrial rock genre in the 70s. So the cool part is industrial music is pretty much entirely based on technology. For Pretty Hate Machine, he didn't really use many other than guitars. He didn't really use any other instruments. He only used processed sounds, samples, synthesizers, drum machines, and overall technology, and all on a Macintosh. So think about that. So here's a bibliography, print source. I will show now a little bit of the track and, more importantly, a picture of Trent Reznor wearing a mouse kit.